We are live. We are direct. All the way out of California with Sarah Michelle, who is a peak performance mindset coach who helps professionals who have a dream, who have a vision, who have a calling to step into the next level of growth, making sure what is internal reflects externally in terms of results and visions. If there's the voice that, hey, I'm not good enough, or maybe I'm not cut out for this, or hey, I'm not ready to reach that next level of growth, Sarah is there to take those outdated subconscious programmers and create them into powering beliefs. You are not broken. You're just running an old software. The creator of the Mindset Reset, Sarah Michelle. Speak to me, sister.
Wow, what an intro. Thank you so much.
100%. Tell me, why is mindset queen? Like, why is it the most important element of success?
Mm. Yeah, I mean, I think that's like my major message to people is that so many people are vacuuming while it's still unplugged. So many
Mm.
people are pursuing their dreams. So many people are taking action, hustling, spending a lot of time, energy, money to make these dreams become real. And they have limiting subconscious beliefs that are essentially like putting their foot on the brake while they're trying to go. And so there's this push pull kind of moment that happens where they want something so badly, but their subconscious beliefs, so it's unconscious, subconscious, you're not aware of them, are stopping you from achieving your dreams, success, goals, all the things. And now you just get frustrated. I mean, there's just this level of like, why isn't this flipping happening for me? And so I essentially help my clients get out of their own way. I help identify where it is that they're really stuck and move them out, replace them with new beliefs that serve them, and essentially over time reprogram their subconscious.
Amazing. Who are your clients generally? Are they corporate, six-figure, seven-figure? Who are they?
Honestly, it's anybody who's pursuing a dream. You could be making seven figures, you also could be making $0, but you just have this burning desire for more. I work with a lot of actors, coaches, entrepreneurs, producers, writers, artists, like anybody who's just like, hey, I have this idea and I want to monetize it. But because it's new and because you're building it from scratch, you are going to just inevitably, your thoughts are going to be getting in your own way. There's going to be those self-doubt moments, those self-sabotaging moments. And I think it's super, super helpful. At least I find it very helpful when someone helps me get out of my own way. And so I do the same for others.
And I read a book the other day regarding the fact that self-doubt isn't a bad thing because you're almost moving from the old identity to the new identity. And when you are stepping into that new identity, then it's not gonna be in your comfort zone and that self-doubt. And it's like the people that succeed, I guess they recognize the fault and say, hey, I am not my transient thoughts, and I'm bigger than this. Is this some of the work that you do help to, like, what sorts of work do you do to help people to reprogram their subconscious?
Yeah, I mean, all of that is super true. And I think it triggers our ego. Our ego is here to keep us safe and small. And when we are looking to tackle these big dreams and aspirations, our ego is going to be like, whoa, 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 whoa. And also, our central nervous system is going to be like, wait, we haven't ever embodied all of this before. So it goes into this subconscious automatic mode that we are so unaware of often. And it yeah, it ends up just kind of like paralyzing us in certain ways. I'll give you an example. I was coaching, I twice a year I talk to a group of actors, and we were talking about a bunch of different things, and one of them apparently, according to her acting coach, is like super talented. Um, but for some reason, she has not created, um, her not reels. They're called
Showreel? Like,
kind of. It's
yeah.
they're called. I'm blanking on the name right now. But she hasn't been creating these basically these clips, these like little, you know, reels, I guess you could say. And when I was digging a little bit deeper, the thing that was stopping her, or the thing that was self-sabotaging, was that she didn't have a flat surface in her apartment. She didn't have a blank wall. And it's not, I'm not saying this to be like, oh my gosh, like, really? That's what is your issue? No, I'm saying that, like, it's so simple. We all have it. We all have those moments where it's like, wow, you're so talented. And because you or we haven't been in this new reality yet, we go into those places of like, oh, I can't film my, little audition tapes because I don't have a blank wall. And it's like, I was talking to somebody else, and their thing was that they didn't know how to work an iPhone. She was older, a different generation. She didn't know how to work an iPhone. And it's like somebody who, maybe this isn't our thing, but we're like, well, let's go to an Apple store and let's learn about how. But it's like, it's so interesting. I find it interesting that we really do come up with the funniest things to keep us from taking action. And it is also interesting that you just need a little shift. Like, it just needs that little moment of like, oh, let me show you how to do this on your phone. Or why don't you let me help you put up a sheet so that now you have a blank wall to work with. Like, it's just so interesting how our minds go to a place to go, whoa, 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 danger, danger. We're going to come up with all of these very small, silly excuses as to why we shouldn't take action. And it's also just good to know that it just takes like a small little shift. That's all it took for them. They were like, oh my gosh, now all of a sudden she got out of her own way and she was like on the call, like putting up a sheet and was all excited. And so sometimes these things that feel like huge boulders for us are actually really small, but we don't see it as small until someone comes in and goes, oh, easy peasy. We could do that. Um, so yeah, so one of the ways that I help my clients get out of their own way, and this is more of like one-on-one coaching, right? Because I have a few offers that are courses and things like that, that are videos that I've created. But in my one-on-one coaching, I obviously help as I listen to them. I'm listening between the lines. So as they're talking, I'm actually hearing subconscious beliefs, things that are not serving them. And in that process, I'll write down those things. And then we'll do these things called subconscious releases. And it's a little bit of a breath work. And basically, they take a deep breath in and they hold it. And then I say the phrase that I'm hearing them say. So it's very specific and tailored to them. And then I help them release it through the breath work. We do that a couple of times. And then we end with fill-ups where we're like, okay, how do we rephrase this? How do we want to look at this situation? So I'm always leaving my clients better than I found them in the session, which is really fulfilling. Um, and did that answer your question? I'm
Yeah,
trying
I
to think
did.
of like, did I get it all?
No, I did. And you're very thorough in the way you explain the concept, Sarah.
It's a hard concept, and I've had to learn how to make it make sense.
Makes sense. Tell me, this is She Leads, She Sells. How do you get visible to your audience and how do you sell to them?
Well, to be honest with you, I feel like that's kind of where I'm at right now in my business is I've spent the last couple of years really building my foundation, really building my offers. Um, and as I'm getting more and more, complete with that, I'm all about visibility. And so, now I'm doing things like this, and I just became an executive contributor to Brains magazine. So I'll be writing articles and doing an interview with them. And so I think as I'm going through it, right? So my answer is not so much 2020, it's more of my current experience, which is that just once you build out the foundation, because the thing that I realized was that as I started to become visible, maybe a couple of years ago, or, going and meeting groups and networking and stuff, people were asking me, like, oh, well, where can we find you? And what services do you offer? And I would just was tongue tied because I'm like, I don't really have anything to give you. And so I realized, whoa, I got to pivot and kind of create my foundation first. So I'm in that place right now where I'm becoming more visible, posting more on social media, going to get involved in um, just networking opportunities. There's so many people who are, what is it called when you, um, co-working spaces? There's so many people who are working from home, and you can go and you can meet people in co-working spaces, and then doing, podcasts. I've been on a few podcasts, and so those are kind of some ways that I am becoming more and more visible.
Makes sense. How about
Yeah.
sales? Because what I found is sales is an energy game that you can
Mm.
go into sales with fear, go into sales with neutrality, but the higher levels of energy that I find convert deals are joy and limitless energy. You see no
Mm.
limits. And when you
Yeah,
see no limits as the coach, then people begin to sort of that rubs off on people
that's
in
so
that
true.
regard.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's so true. I think with my type of work specifically, it is very unique. I think it's still pretty untapped. So people don't really know what exactly, I do. And so in my discovery calls, which are free, I just explain basically what I do, who I work with, and also the different types of ways. There's different price points because everybody's at a different place for that, and have different needs. And I actually heard some really good sales advice. I've sales have always made me feel pretty uncomfortable. I think just growing up, that it's my own subconscious programming, from my parents. They hated solicitors and all of these things, and so it's taken me a bit to really embrace the sales side of business for sure. But one thing that I think has really helped me is there's 3 pillars of sales. The first one is I think that this person is right for me as a coach. Do I think this client is who I want to work with? That's the first stage. The second stage is that once you decide, yes, I do want to work with this person, then you are essentially showing, this is the sale part, right? You're showing them why you think you are the solution to their problem, why you think you are the thing that they've been really looking for. Um, and then the third pillar is, you know, if we both are going, yes, you're right for me and you're right for me, and there's this mutual fit, then we talk about the different ways of working with me, what is currently going on in your world as a client, what are you getting stuck on, and which offer I think would help you the best right now in your life. So I feel like I've kind of taken that on, and that feels very normal and natural to me, because I don't take on anybody. And so I want to also make sure that, because my energy and my space is also special to me and I need to protect it. And so rather than thinking like, oh, I need to sell to everyone, which I think is kind of the negative connotation of sales, you're being a little bit more discerning of who you want in your space. So one thing I've realized in my marketing and sales process has been qualifying people, qualifying leads. And I have an application that everyone needs to take before we hop on a call because, my time's precious, your time's precious, and I want it to be a mutual win-win.
No, that definitely makes sense. Love your embodiment and your confidence, Sarah.
Thank you.
I sense a very grounded leader.
I try to be, that's for sure. And actually, it really resonated with me when you said that, when you believe that that they can do it, they kind of hop on board. And I think that that's actually one thing that I bring to the table that happens pretty naturally for me because I have been in this space for a while, that I really do believe that there's nothing in your way if your mind is right. Like, one of my favorite quotes is, the facts don't matter when your mind is right. It's like, it doesn't, any excuse you can give me, I could give you something why it would work. I could give you some, it'd be like, okay, I understand you're really hung up over this, or you're paralyzed with fear around this or whatever. Let's figure out what that is. Let's dig deeper. Let's really uncover like what is going on there so that, again, you get out of your own way and now we can kind of like, then there's that encouragement there. So yeah, I do think it's really important that you have a coach that believes in the vision overall, even if your vision is more specific. But I do believe, and I actually love working with creatives for that reason. I love to be at kind of the precipice of their breakthrough.
And that makes complete sense. Let them know who you're looking to serve specifically, and yeah, where they can find you. Sarah
Sure,
Michelle.
yeah, I call them ambitious creators, which I don't know if that's the correct term or if they necessarily identify with that, but I don't know a better term to encompass anybody who is building a dream, a career, a life, monetizing a strength. Anybody who wants something really bad, a go-getter. They're the dreamers, the go-getters, the ones that just, they see something better for their life and they want to do anything and everything they can to do that. And they just either are getting in their own way or they're second guessing it, or they kind of just need that person to go like, hey, you got this. Like, you're not alone. And I think like I'm also an ambitious creator. And I think creating my dream, it's very lonely. And so having somebody that goes, hey, no, we got this. I see this makes sense to me, is really, really helpful. And then where you can find me. So my website is sarahmichellecoaching.com. You'll find kind of everything that you need there. It will take you to the different pages, but I do have various offers that I offer. So you'll find that on my Work With Me page. I'm on pretty much every platform. I'm Sarah Michelle Coaching. So I am Instagram, YouTube, all the things, all the places. I'm Sarah Michelle Coaching. So find me for sure. I'd love to connect.
Amazing. Amazing. Thank you for hopping on today, Sarah. Brilliant.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you ever so much.